See, hear, feel. For Rossi. You do not have to remember my birthday card this year, Dad. No, I'm not mad. Anyway, I can't stay mad at you anymore. You are allowed to be that funny guy I always knew you were. Listen to that song on repeat, the one that leaves a crestfallen melody across your brow, wistful, wishful. Yes, that's it. I remember now. I know you too. My eyes register recognition through a lens. Funny how there always seems to be a filter between us. We are Arts for a Cause. See, hear, feel, our first multidisciplinary arts project focused on examining the many aspects of people living with and caring for others with Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative disorders. Collaboration between artists, scientists, and researchers is integral to the creation of innovative art and to discovery. See, hear, feel aim to change the way we interact and consume art through a multi-sensory exhibit. We had our art on the wall, the music installed on a music iPod station, and we also had the poetry on the wall. So as you went up to each station, we have these art stations, as you went up to each art station, you could uniquely decide how you wanted to engage with the artwork. Here, we'll move forward to the slide. There we go. So we had these there's a mock-up of our first exhibit at the Studio of 620 in St. Petersburg, and you could decide how you wanted to consume the art. We also had a stage setup in the round that was very, very casual and comfortable to, again, create that atmosphere of interacting with the art. As artists, as millennials, as thinkers, we aim to be proactive and not just reactive to our environment. In fact, we believe it's our responsibility to continuously learn, to reach out to other disciplines, to listen, to investigate, and to engage with a world beyond ourselves.
So we have observed a pervasive growth in the number of Alzheimer's disease cases in the US and worldwide. According to the Alzheimer's Association, there are currently more than 5 million Americans living with Alzheimer's disease, making it the 6th leading cause of death. Also, women are twice as likely to develop Alzheimer's than they are breast cancer. But also, the financial repercussions of Alzheimer's disease on the US economy are worth noting, as caregivers provided 17 billion hours of unpaid labor in 2013. This is valued at approximately $220 billion. But this is on top of the direct cost of treating people with Alzheimer's disease, which was estimated at $214 billion in 2014. However, we haven't seen a equal growth in the amount of advocacy for the need to find a cure, which is understandable considering it's much easier to talk about things where there is hope. There are no Alzheimer's disease survivors that can share their story, which is why we're here. All the 5 artists in this project have been touched by Alzheimer's in some way. My personal experience has been mostly in the lab, as I did my PhD in the neurobiology of Alzheimer's disease. But really our goals here with this project were to engage with an audience in our community so that we can raise awareness about Alzheimer's disease. Also, to express our emotions based on our unique experiences. But most importantly, to tell a story about Alzheimer's disease that shares our hope that one day we will find a cure.
I heard the incessant dissolving of silk and felt my heart growing so old in real time. You were born on a cloud-clogged night to the ring of your own tintinnabular cry. You were fed thread by your mother. You learned to love in another country, and the wind with its 1,000 hands took what it could, and through star-clogged eyes you watched dawn shake loose its skin as the saffron sun rained marigolds on you as you gave yourself thread by thread to another. Oh, body that is swept of its senses, you learn to love with your brain and breath. Your children will be born into the fog-clogged years when you'll mend your mother like a doll and bury your father whose brain hasn't spooled thread by thread to a child's. Cupping each word like a stone, you'll wear your language like a family heirloom. And your marigold chest will burn when your grandchildren are born on a green clogged night. You'll begin to dissolve, thread by thread, as salt into water. One of the most meaningful parts of all of this experience was actually hearing the individual stories from audience members. During the exhibit, we had a lot of people who just wanted to come up to us and share how a song, an image, a poem really elicited emotions of witnessing Alzheimer's in their lives. The good, the bad, the tragically sad, the funny at times as well. It was through witnessing these stories and through listening to these stories that we learned that Art for a Cause was not just enabling us to work with other disciplines and to reach out to worlds beyond ourselves. It was also creating a space for a community that is often overlooked to share their stories. It was giving caregivers a space to be heard. Caregivers of Alzheimer's patients demonstrate a tremendous amount of resilience and strength, and they're a huge source of inspiration for us. A lot of the dialogue surrounding Alzheimer's disease really focuses on the loss of self. However, we were interested in finding the opposite. Neurologist Oliver Sacks explains in Musicophilia, and the filmmakers of the film Alive Inside explain that Alzheimer's is actually less about the loss of self and more about the preservation of self. Our memories are virtually indestructible, waiting for a trigger to be released upon our consciousness.
And that's why art is so powerful, especially for people with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, because it has the ability to bring out our memories, our emotions, our experiences. These are the things that make us human. For an ephemeral moment, we get to inhabit a part of ourselves that was previously inaccessible.
If anybody here practices any kind of creative art, if you are a concert violinist, a jazz musician, a writer, a photographer, a dancer, anything at all, you have probably experienced that sense of losing yourself completely when practicing, when creating, when on stage. It is often in those times, those very scary, sometimes energizing times, that you also find yourself. It's often in that sort of frenzy of being lost, of sort of not being able to reach out and grab a life buoy for help, when you're actually finding the narrative arc or story structure to your screenplay, when you're finding the melody to your composition. As artists, we need to allow ourselves to get lost in order to find ourselves. And moving into sort of the question, can we work multidisciplinarily to help save the world? Can we do that? We have to. There's no other way to do it. Because survival itself is not enough. The arts are a critical component and part to our human existence.
There is a resilience in the human spirit that prevents even Alzheimer's disease from taking away the essence of who we are. It is our hope that this work will not only raise awareness for Alzheimer's disease, but also inspire other artists to create art, to create positive change in their communities.
This next and last poem was actually the last addition to our See, Hear, Feel exhibit. It was inspired by the passing of Tom Maglizzoni from the beloved Click and Clack Brothers duo, from the NPR show Car Talk, if anybody's a fan here. Tom passed away about a week before our exhibit went up due to complications with Alzheimer's disease. So this poem is wholeheartedly dedicated to both Tom and Ray. Do it while you're young. You may never have another chance to do anything stupid again. You kept us engaged in conversations about catalytic converters and tire pressure, about the intricacies of an engine, the valves, the pumping, the drips, the sputter, the click and clack of the imperfections that keep us human, that keep us trying to repair, rethink, and refurbish our loaned models, our investments. The car that becomes more companion and less machine with every mile. Your advice, jokes, and banter taught us that car troubles mean life troubles, and life troubles mean love troubles. So, we keep at it. We continue to ask, to pry beneath the hood, balancing a manual, turning up the radio. If it falls off, it doesn't matter, you'd say in that rowdy older brother voice. You're right, it's only a car. Yet we roll up our sleeves and we keep at it, driving with the windows open. After all, it is better to travel in hope than to arrive in despair.